Hi everyone, welcome to episode 1 of The Mechanic Next Door. Today, we're starting our small town adventure with yoongi, sarcasm, and a clumsy cafe mishap. Grab your drink, get cozy, and let's dive in. Episode 1, The Scooter Disaster. If someone asked me how my life in a quiet small town began, I'd probably say, with chaos, embarrassment, and a scooter that apparently hated me. The sun was already high enough to make me squint, and I was struggling to push my scooter to the side of the street. My first thought had been that moving here would be peaceful. I imagined quiet mornings, friendly neighbors, maybe even a little garden where I could sip tea while listening to birds. Instead, I was sweating under my helmet, my scooter wheezing like it had a personal vendetta against me. "This is great," I muttered. "Just great." I tried to look nonchalant while pushing the scooter, but of course, grace was not my strong suit. My foot slipped on a loose pebble, and I nearly face-planted onto the asphalt. A passing cat gave me a look that clearly said, "You don't belong here, human." Then I heard it, a voice, calm and amused. "You planning to drag that all the way to the town square, or should I take a look?" I froze. Turning around, I saw him. Black overalls, white shirt rolled up at the sleeves, hair messy but somehow perfect, eyes that could pierce through walls. And that look, like he was silently judging my very existence. I was just pushing it," I said, waving at the scooter like it was innocent. "For exercise. Totally normal morning exercise." He raised an eyebrow. "Cardio with a broken scooter. Makes sense." I blinked. "Wow, sarcasm this early. Bold. Some of us have responsibilities," he said, stepping closer, as if the street belonged to him. And I realized, it probably did. Before I could defend myself, he grabbed the scooter as if it weighed nothing and pushed it into a nearby garage. The sign above the entrance read, "Men's Repairs." Of course. The local mechanic. Inside, the smell of oil and metal hit me first, followed by the faint minty scent of gum. He immediately began working, tools clicking rhythmically. I stood there awkwardly, unsure if I should help or just disappear. "So," I ventured, trying to break the silence, "have you always fixed scooters?" "Since before people started asking obvious questions," he replied flatly, not even glancing up. I snorted. "Fun at parties, I bet." "I don't go to parties," he said without pause. "Figures," I muttered. While he worked, I couldn't help noticing the little things. The way his hands moved effortlessly over the scooter, the faint hum he made, the calm in his eyes. Somehow, watching him work was oddly mesmerizing. And then, as if the universe knew I needed more humiliation, I leaned on a workbench and knocked over a tin of screws. They scattered across the floor like metallic confetti. "Careful," I squeaked. "Or what?" he asked, finally looking at me, unimpressed. I bent down, muttering apologies as I tried to gather the screws. "I swear I'm not usually this clumsy." He sighed and swept them together effortlessly with a magnetic tool. "You're lucky I don't charge for emotional damage," he muttered. I laughed nervously. Could take that as a compliment. Minutes passed in silence, except for the rhythmic clinking of his tools. I fidgeted, trying to think of something witty to say, but nothing came to mind. I considered talking about the weather, but small town mornings are usually warm, sunny, and boring, and I had no idea if he even cared about weather. Finally, he straightened up. "Try it now." I pressed the starter, and my scooter roared to life, wheezing but functional. "Oh my God, you fixed it," I exclaimed, hopping off like a kid on Christmas morning. "That's literally my job," he said flatly. I know, but still. Amazing." He gave a tiny shrug, and I noticed a faint twitch at the corner of his mouth. Not a smile, just the hint of one. I was about to wave goodbye and leave when the garage door opened, and an elderly woman from down the street popped her head in. "Min, Is that you fixing yet another one of those scooters? Yes, Mrs. Patel, he said dryly. You're too good to let him work alone, I said quickly, pointing at him. I can help. He looked at me like I had just proposed building a rocket in his garage. No. Oh, okay, I said, pretending to be fine while inwardly panicking. Just stand somewhere safe, he muttered. I nodded, then promptly tripped over a stray wrench. I swear, it jumped at me. Careful, he barked, rushing to steady me. I'm fine, totally fine, I insisted, even as my cheeks burned. After what felt like an eternity, the scooter was fixed. He handed me the keys. How much do I owe you? I asked. Consider it a welcome to town fix, he said. Just try not to break it again tomorrow. I can't make promises, I teased. He sighed, shaking his head, but I caught a tiny smirk. Great, another one of those people. As I rode away, I glanced in the rearview mirror. He was still there, leaning against the garage, arms crossed, faint smirk still in place. My heart skipped. I had no idea that this clumsy disaster, this chance encounter with a sarcastic mechanic, would change my mornings, and maybe my life, forever. Wow, what a start. If you loved episode 1, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Next time, episode 2, the scooter disaster, chaos, laughter, and maybe some unexpected heroics from Yoongi. See you then.